Hello, class. Thank you for joining me today. This week, we talk about conflict coaching. Particularly in this video, we get a look at the conflict grid by Thomas-Kilman. This is also known as the choices in conflict, or in layman, we are going to identify how we handle conflict. Particularly, I found this very interesting because I identify that I handle conflict differently depending on the situation and depending on the parties that I'm having conflict with. If I have a conflict with family members, I might be a little bit more assertive and have that kind of higher levels, especially trying to get my point across. But when it's in the workplace, I'm more collaborative. And if you are not too familiar with the conflict grid, we have assertiveness on the y-axis going up and down with a low to high level, and then we have cooperation or cooperativeness from left to right being low to high on that axis. We have on a low, we have avoidance, which is not actually trying to attend to the conflict and more so remove yourself from it. Then we have on a low cooperativeness but a high assertiveness, we have competition, and that is when you're just trying to be right and get everything that you want as far as your wants and needs to be heard and to be resolved instead of having it on the other party as well. And then if you have a low assertiveness but a high cooperativeness, that's accommodation, where you're gonna set your wants and needs behind and start working to try to fulfill theirs. And then we have on the very high assertiveness and very high cooperativeness that you have collaboration, where you both work to try to resolve this conflict where both parties get their wants and needs. And then central to this grid, we have the compromise, where I feel like a lot of people end up falling. And again, within my vision of how I handle conflict, I may tend to fall into compromise, especially trying to adjust for the situation and for the people that I am with. But if it's with family or something like that, I may be a little bit higher on assertiveness. And if it's with in other areas, I might be more on levels of accommodation. So I know what my goal would be. It would be more focusing on collaboration, and I actually really like the visual support that we had, where it said conflict is either going to be a problem or an opportunity, and I would like to address the way I handle conflicts as an opportunity. And the way that that was illustrated is you have the two parties on one side of a divider, and then on the other side of that divider you had the conflict itself. And when you see it as an opportunity, together you guys are working in that direction. Maybe not as together, but at least both you are going and focusing on the conflict at hand and not each other. And I think that's where I would like to find myself as a way of handling conflict. And the way that I would do that, as far as steps, is I would hope to create more opportunities of dialogue to understand what the other party's wants and needs are, as well as addressing my own wants and needs and sharing that so that they know. And together we can have a resolution that fits both parties. Anyways, thank you so much for listening in and watching this video. I really hope everybody's doing wonderfully, and I look forward to checking out your discussions. Thank you so much.